In trying to understand the meaning of a given gospel passage, it is very important to reflect on what preceded it. And in the prior unit, John the Baptist sent his disciples to Jesus asking, "Are you the one who is to come, or do we look for another?" Always the question asked of Jesus by John the Baptist, by his apostles, and by us as well. And Jesus invites to faith. The blind see, the deaf hear, the mute speak, and the poor have the good news preached to them. But one can be blind and deaf and mute and poor in many different ways. Blessed are those who accept this Jesus on his terms, because his words, his life, affirm that we are at all times safe and sheltered within God's care. And reflecting on God's concerns for us, the believer is to make God's concerns central in life, to evidence the saving, liberating presence of God, not only in one's personal life, but in all the issues of life. Such are the little ones to whom God has revealed things hidden from the wise and the learned. The little ones, sometimes they're rich, and sometimes they're poor. Sometimes they're highly educated, and sometimes not. But the little ones are the ones who delight in the ordinary joys of life, seeing in them the presence of God and giving thanks, who are consoled by the inevitable sorrows of life and trust. Little ones are those who stretch to bring the way of Jesus to every moment and every issue. Such should be our constant prayer. Come, Lord Jesus, come and save your people. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. On this July 4th weekend, we recall the words on the base of the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor. Words that identify something of the vision of our country. Like a mother welcoming those who are somehow aside from the ordinary pattern of life. Our nation built on respect for human life, regard for human rights, especially of the marginalized. Always inviting to community as we embrace one another with their joys and with their needs. Words so in line with today's gospel. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. But I have a twist to these words. You know, to give oneself in a conscious, deliberate sense of mission, in the face of the skepticism and indifference and live philosophy of the majority of people who surround us, to have this centrality of meaning and mission is at once a blessing and a burden. Because this vision embraces all of life's issues and concerns. Cardinal Timothy Dolan put it very well. He said, I'm concerned about all the uns in our society. The unborn, the uneducated, the undereducated, the unemployed and the underemployed, the uninsured and the undocumented. I'm concerned, he said, about all the uns in our society. These are the real issues of a real world. And they should lead to action in a nation of such highly educated, free people with untapped resources, but only if led by a commitment to the common good. That has to be in the forefront of our minds, the common good. We Catholic Christians from our social justice understandings of life, have a mission with other people who share these last same values with us. Freedom is for something. We are children of immigrants, whether in the first or eighth generation. But then, as now, immigrants came to American shores to be free from something, from poverty, from oppression, from ignorance, from militarism. We have the burden and the glorious opportunity to reach out beyond self-interest and help create a nation of justice and peace, of unity and mercy. These are words taken from the liturgy of Christ the King. You know, goals and ideals flow so easily from one's lips, but effecting them demands the very best that is in us, of intelligence, of heart. It means taking seriously the way of Jesus, being converted, constantly converted. That's one of the reasons why we worship every Sunday, to hear the Word. Like in the first reading today, we hear Zephaniah, and he talks about the time of the Messiah when there will be no more war. It hasn't come yet. And so we understand that that's one of the goals of the presence of God in the midst of the world, to bring peace. It means changing our minds, changing and opening our hearts, and giving ourselves. And the Lord offers a way. He says, "Learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart." What does that mean? It means that Jesus had a profound awareness that everything that he owned came from the Father, and that nothing belonged to him, not even his life. "I am a steward," he said. A conviction that is so contrary to the ethos of the day, really of every day. Reflecting on the way of Jesus, keeping him as the reference point for how we address complex and demanding issues, personal and public, issues that are very real, keeping him front and center gives us a focus for our lives. We come to know what we should be about. "Follow me," he says. Not the cliches of either left or right in our society. No, follow me, and you will try to bring life. Always new life to a fractured society. Now, if we take this seriously and try to connect all our ways of thinking, of talking, of acting in the ways of Jesus, a skeptical, indifferent world will take notice, because we will bring life to that world. And we will then be what Jesus wants us to be, the light of the world and the salt of the earth.